Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad. Today we're going to go through the tricks and tips of Seeking Alpha. It's also Seeking Alpha's Black Friday sale going on right now. And additionally, this is a sponsored video by Seeking Alpha. They reached out to me. They said, hey, create a video about Seeking Alpha, how you use it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. By the way, they did not see this until I went ahead and released it. So they didn't get to say anything about what I'm going to say or anything else. And hopefully I don't get in trouble because, first of all, we're going to go ahead and play a clip from the CEO of Seeking Alpha and his vision of Seeking Alpha just for you to hear because I thought it was very interesting. And this was actually a published Inside Seeking Alpha video that I got to watch from the CEO about how he uses Seeking Alpha. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll be right back.
When I started Seeking Alpha, my motivation for building Seeking Alpha was I wanted to build the product that I myself wanted to use. There are some founders who kind of start companies based on identifying the biggest market opportunity or the biggest market need or the most profitable company that they could start. I was really incredibly lucky in that I started Seeking Alpha because I just wanted to build the product that I wanted myself. And so from the get-go, I was originally the product manager for Seeking Alpha. And then I worked very closely with the product team. And I'm still super involved in the product side of Seeking Alpha. And much of our product work comes from us being users ourselves. And therefore, identifying things that we would like to see that we think are useful based on our own experiences.
So, welcome back. So, hopefully, the CEO has given you his vision of hey, he uses this platform himself and he built this platform using what he wants out of the platform, which is all built for investors like you and I. I personally use Seeking Alpha every day. That is just me. Doesn't mean that you have to use it, but I really enjoy the platform. So let's go ahead and look at what are they offering. First of all, from Seeking Alpha, I use the premium version. They have a discount going on, 20% off. That is on the premium, which is exactly what I use. Alpha Picks, I do not personally use Alpha Picks, but I know people that do use Alpha Picks. It just helps you take out some of the emotions of picking individual stocks if that's what you're into. You can also do a version of Alpha Picks and Seeking Alpha, which is actually the best value. Links down below if you choose to do something like this. So what's the first trick that I'm going to show you today? And that is if you go out to the charting tool on Seeking Alpha, you can put price return and total return on the same chart. And that's important. If you're looking for NAV erosion, you can eliminate it quickly by looking at price return and total return on the same exact chart. And you can do that on Seeking Alpha. I have not seen that on any other platform. What's the second tip that I have? I use Seeking Alpha to look at the sectors and which sector is doing what and looking at the long term of the sectors. It's just something that I look at from time to time to see how the sectors are moving back and forth. And we're talking about micro sectors, themes. We can also look at the exact sectors and we can see how the sectors moved that day, that week, that month, year to date, just to give you what the sectors are doing inside Seeking Alpha in one spot. The third trick, and this is something that I saw on the CEO's video, is hey, if I build out a portfolio, and I'm going to actually do this one with us, if I change MLP and I actually change the actual name of this and say MLP 3, and let's go ahead and save it. If I hit refresh, it changes the order. So it is no longer alphabetical. You can name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down, and it will go by the numbering system that you put in there instead of being in alphabetical order. What's the next trick or tip that Brad has about seeking alpha? Is the play button. One thing that I have learned over time is if I read and listen at the exact same time, my reading comprehension or my listening comprehension greatly increases as a listener and a reader of at the same time. You don't have to do it this way, but having that play button right there on the screen really helps you out. Actually, change the speed to your speed of reading, and that way you can listen to and read the articles at the same time. Now, ADS Analytics is one of the authors I read, and they have articles every single week that's really interesting for readers. Now, there are some people out there that I don't read. I don't read a whole lot about the growth investors unless I'm looking at a particular stock. And I want to say, hey, I want to get into something like NVII. Well, I'll go out and read everything about NVIDIA so I can understand what's going on with the company. Talking about NVIDIA, that gets us to the next tip. The next tip is I can use the advanced screen for actual charting. And I can look at it on a 1 minute to 5 minutes to see exactly how NVIDIA is moving throughout the day. I don't do that. I look at it more on a weekly chart to see how it's doing on a weekly chart. And you can see that it's well above the 20-week moving average. But I also look at it from time to time, mostly every day, at the daily chart. So when I look at this going, I want to see how NVIDIA looks like on the daily chart. This is just something that you may or may not want to do. And you can compare it because when you look over to the left-hand side, it actually gives you the very top one is today's price. The yellow line is the 20-day simple moving average, and that's how I have it set up. And it actually gives you the price of each one of the moving averages. So you know if it's above or below the moving average just looking at the chart. It, there's also tons of indicators. I currently have the MACD down at the bottom. That is a very popular indicator, but there's a whole list of indicators that you can go out and use if that's what you choose to do. The other one with the advanced charting is you can actually draw lines and you can actually put graphs and charts and everything else on there, and it saves it for you. So the next time you go out and look at NVIDIA, you can actually see it. The next one I have for you is something you don't always see or hear about very often. And that is this little icon there where you can actually go in and look at the notes. And the best part is you can add notes as you go. You can actually add another note and say, not used this time, and hit save, and it'll actually show you the notes over time and save them on each ETF. So if you're following more than one ETF and you want to write some notes, you can go in and write personalized notes on each one of the ETFs and go back in and look at the history of those notes and what you were thinking at the time that you were looking at it. Because let's face it, we look at a ton of different income ETFs, and I don't always remember what I was thinking 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. So, hey, you can write a quick note in Seeking Alpha what you were thinking about a particular ETF at that time, and that way you can go back and say, yeah, I remember what I was thinking, or yeah, that's what I was looking at on the chart. So just to give you another tool that Seeking Alpha actually has for you, and it all comes with the premium package, just to throw it out that, hey, if you're a premium member, these are all included. those are my tricks and tips of seeking alpha. And just to let you know that they are running their special, and this is a semi-annual special. I see it twice a year. This is probably one of the best deals that you're going to get for Seeking Alpha. If you're choosing to become a member, hey, welcome to the family. I also, every now and then, I write a comment on a particular article. So if you see me out there and you see my logo on a comment, feel free to follow me, because I don't write for Seeking Alpha, but if I read an article that I think is interesting or have a comment about, you know me, I will personally go out and write something on it. And I know that a lot of people that follow me on YouTube also follow me on Seeking Alpha. So hopefully that gives you some tricks and tips if you're using Seeking Alpha or if you're considering Seeking Alpha. So until next time, be careful out there and always do your own due diligence.